All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Excited to have you with us today. My name is Doug Grant. I'm very excited for those of you that are on to learn about this phenomenal new program that is life-changing. And man, we're going to go into some great new research and information also for you today, because actually this webinar, usually our webinars are just a real deep dive into really cool stuff in nutrition and exercise and anything to do with fitness, mindset, nutrition, exercise, supplementation. And this was a little different because we're actually launching a program. So we're going to be talking a lot about a program today. That within that, I'm going to share with you some great new information, some research that actually I had talked about way back in 1993, but some new research came out about it today that solidifies what we were saying. And so I really am excited to share some of that with you. So for those of you that are new as you're coming on, if you would please go onto the chat, click onto the chat and just put your name and say where you're from. So if you would just let us know where you're from. So put like Jill from Arkansas, whatever it might be, wherever you're at. I'd love to see where you're coming in from, so that we'll be able to just let the rest of the people know for anywhere around the world that people are in this webinar and being able to be a part of it. Thank you, Jill from Texas, Indiana, Sarah, thank you. Michigan, thanks for being on. Omaha, Orlando, hello. Miami, got some great Floridians in the house. Thanks for being on with us today. And again, as you're coming on, please just put where your name and where you're from in the chat, the webinar chat. And we want to make sure that's working for you so that when we get to the end and questions and answers that you're able to utilize that. So again, my name is Doug Grant. Thank you for being with us. I'm super excited about our webinar today. We're going to jump right into it. I know that a lot of people are still coming from the chat room, so we'll let them come on. But want to let you know that today is very special because it's been something in the works for many decades. And I want you to know my commitment to you today is whether you're an athlete, that we're able to help reach higher levels of performance or more performance consistently. That's what I was hired to do, is to help these athletes who are already great have higher performance. Or you're a doctor. We just got off a great 1-hour doctor webinar about this subject and how they're implementing it in the clinics. It was so phenomenal. Doctors from all over the nation. And whether you're a doctor or just busy, person that's busy that or is out there grinding it out every day, that the information we're going to share with you, this program, Nutrients RX, is really something that can bless your life, and super excited to be able to share it with you. And it's going to provide more energy for you, which most people that come into clinics, we work with thousands of clinics across the world. And the number one thing that people come into their office for, they say, I have a pain, usually to go to your doctor, I have a pain somewhere. But I would really like to work on my energy. My energy levels are just low. The energy is always a part of it. And these things I'm going to share with you, one of the absolute awesome things that you can do with the principles I'm going to share with you now in the program is improve your energy levels, your immunity, which is critical. Be able to build that immunity, especially with the things going on in the world right now, whether what's going on is the viruses go around, or if you've looked in the last 5 days, the toxins that are in our air because of things blowing up and wrecking and everything else. We actually had one of those things happen about 200 miles from us, actually, in the Tucson area. Who knows? It's craziness what's going on. But anyways, your immune system needs help and it needs strengthening. And the best way to do is see where it's deficient so you can add to it. Okay. And then longevity, which is really critical. In other words, once we make sure that we're at lower risks of disease, that's improving our longevity. But then also working on markers that the research shows improves our quality of life for a long period of time. That helps with our telomeres, our DNA, to be able to help with our body to supply ATP energy and that to the body. Super critical that you're able to enjoy life no matter how long you live, that you have a high quality of life till that day. And that's really, really neat to be able to have. And then we can actually do some things to specifically help with it. So again, welcome Minnesota, Kansas, Wisconsin, Midwest being represented. Glad you're with us. So that's my commitment to you today. And we're going to go through the presentation. And my goal is to create 3 aha moments for you, that you realize that you need to know your exact nutrients, that you need to be able to decide right now that you're going to take accountability and focus on your own health. And an aha flash moment, I want to define that. So I want you to really say, am I really having an aha moment today in 3 areas? So an aha moment is something you already know. It's already deep inside you. It's already in your soul, if you would. And it's a remembering of it. It's articulated in a way that resonates with you. So in other words, you're like, oh, I knew that. You ever had that moment, right? That something happens, you're like, I knew that. I don't know why I haven't been doing that, following that, whatever it might be. You just knew deep in your heart. That's an aha moment. It's a flash of a specific moment in time, and that you remember a principle, or even if it's not something you were taught, it's a principle that is true. Okay, so we're looking for 3 aha flash moments for you today. So one of the things I want to share with you is that 678,000 people die every year in America from nutrient-related diseases. 678,000 people die every year from a disease that's caused from the beginning from a nutrient deficiency. I really want you to get that deep in your soul. For example, let's say that you're deficient in iron. It starts off with low energy, but then it leads to actually blood disorders and problems that can cause death. You have calcium deficiency, sometimes calcium excesses because of the wrong types of calcium, right? That can lead to everything from osteoporosis to calcification in the blood vessels that leads to heart disease. Vitamin D levels, not just osteoporosis, but vitamin D levels for mental disorders and for depression when we know we're low on those. Vitamin A, poor eyesight, macular degeneration, jump down, irritable bowel syndrome, colitis, those things from not having a good, healthy gut, your probiotics, your flora, your microbiota. I just got off a podcast, a great podcast. In fact, we can put the link in it sometime if you want. We just did a deep dive into probiotics, and that was one of my original mentors, Dr. Shahani. Vitamin B causing deficiencies, causing nerve damage, or the wrong types of vitamin B causing nerve damage, and the list goes on and on. So 678,000 people die specifically from diseases that were completely fixable if their nutrient levels would have been up. That's crazy, isn't it? Think about that. So we're going to be talking about Nutrients RX. Nutrients RX is the program that we're launching with the public that I've been doing for over 25 years that helps you determine exactly what you need, specifically, objectively, and be able to track and make sure that it's improving in the body so you don't have those things happen, that you don't become one of those 678,000 people or the millions of people that get conditions because of simply a nutrient deficiency that leads to problems. Okay. So as we go through the flash principles, if I do my job and we're accomplished, we're going to share with you, and you'll be able to know that you can provide all of your needs in a way that will transform your life forever. So first, let me do a backstory for those of you that don't know. Been in this business a long time, the health and fitness business. And I know some of these pictures are a little embarrassing for me, but the way things started is that I actually had an accident, L4, L5, complete smashed, paralyzed for a while, spinal cord concussion. And I was in a little wheelchair for a while, way back in the day. I had a lot more hair then. But anyways, I went through rehab. I didn't want exploratory surgery. And I got with a chiropractic friend of mine that had a rehab center and just started rehabbing, working, doing all kinds of natural holistic things, finishing my degree in nutrition, exercise physiology from American College of Sports Medicine. And people got to a point, because I was having to pay my way for the rehab, that the only way to do the programs that I would help put them on, the nutrition, the supplementation, the exercise programs, separate from the rehab that they were getting, people wanted to do what I was doing. And so people started coming in wanting to do that program. And the owner of the facility said, you know what, you can only come do this program is if you're a patient, you're sick. And so people started faking being sick to be on the rehab program that I had them on doing the blood work, doing the nutrients and the nutrition, the exercise. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second, we should open up our own center. So I opened up a center. We had personal trainers, 12 of them worked around the clock, helping people with their health and their nutrition and being able to improve their health and reach optimal health. And that's some of them in some of these pictures down here. So why do I go through that backstory? Because what it did is it made me realize that nutrients were a major part of it, that your nutrition, your mindset's number one, then your nutrition, your movement, your exercise. But if you didn't have the nutrients right, if you're deficient in certain nutrients, vitamin D, different things, then a lot of times you didn't have the motivation to follow through and to stick with your eating plan and those factors. So I really worked on my ability to become a formulator. I knew I didn't know much, even though I was going to school for all that I needed help. And so I had read a book, and I'll get to that in a second, that really helped me, guide me that direction. But one thing I did know is that I was going to obey the laws of nature. I was raised in a way that had a great respect for a supreme being and a creator, and was always taught you want to obey and respect nature and the laws of nature, and then use technology and the new advances in that, be thankful for them, be blessed for them, but use those to help it. Never, ever mess with Mother Nature, right? Don't go against nature's laws. In other words, the nutrients, the food is created perfect. Always keep it there. As soon as we start taking it out of that, then we start making our own vitamins synthetically. As soon as we start messing with Mother Nature and doing these genetically modified things, and that is going to cause issues. And the research shows it. This is called Kirlian photography. There's a picture of oranges. But with Kirlian photography, we see the energy, the vitality, the life force that comes from them. That's the enzymes that we can see from that. On the left here, you can see raw cabbage. You can see the enzymes, the life that comes from it. On the right is cabbage that has been cooked, and the enzymes are destroyed. That life force is destroyed. There's still nutrients there, but the delivery of that life force is gone because it has been cooked or processed, okay? And this is a picture of a person who on the left eats a typical American diet, the SAD diet, right? Standard American diet. And then on the right is a person that eats mainly raw foods or whole foods, not even a raw foodist, and just a whole food diet. And you can see their energy, right? Their Kirlian energy, their vitality is just exuding from them. And you see that in people a lot of times. And you see them, you're like, man, look at their energy. Like, they look healthy, and their vitality. And you can feel that from them. And it's something different than just the look, right? Because I can go to places and go to some of these events where the Arnold Classic, right? Some of these places where all these bodybuilders are that are not the right type of bodybuilders, the ones that take steroids and drugs and performance enhancing drugs. And they might look good, but you can tell, you feel that presence coming from that vitality, that something's wrong internally. And they don't have that light that you see really in natural athletes, like Olympic athletes. Olympic athletes have this thing that is just so phenomenal that's why I think everyone tunes into that. And they love that. Whether, you know what, I'm not into curling or any of that stuff where they push on the ice, but I still appreciate the Olympic athletes, and I can do that with the sports that I'm not even interested in, because I see that vitality and that energy comes from them. And one of the quotes that a lot of the health professionals, those that we work with, the thousands around the world, really is their core when it comes to a holistic health professional. And a lot of you are on this webinar today because your health professional recommended you being here. And that quote is, the doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will interest the patient in the care of the human frame, in diet, and the cause and prevention of disease. So before medicine, that you interest them in lifestyle. And that's something that we believe in truly. That's thousands of doctors we work with. That's their core. If you're referred by a doctor to this webinar today, know that your doctor is one of the few that understands the importance of true healthcare. And that is that they understand the importance of the patient and the care of the human frame and diet and the prevention of disease and the cause of it. And the cause, as I mentioned, many times comes down to a nutrient deficiency. So how do we find that out? So the rest of the story is this, is once I knew that we needed to get into exact nutrients to find out what's needed to be able to add back nutrient deficiencies, to fix toxicities in the body, certain herbs to get rid of the toxicities, to help with the liver's strength, the kidneys, the mind, to help with brain fog. I knew I needed help, that I wasn't the best at that, any of those things. And so I read a book called Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, highly recommend it. The greatest book I've ever read besides the scriptures I believe in. And this book is phenomenal. And this book in it said you need to have a mastermind group. You don't have to be an expert, the best in the world, but you need to be associated with those who are. And that hit home to me. I mean, it was like this aha moment of my life where it's like, well, I need to hook up with the best. And then if I can put that team together, then I can offer the best. And so I sought out the leading authorities. And this is way back before social media. This is way back with the internet, any of those things. And so I looked up in the journals at Arizona State University. I was like, who's the world's leading authority on minerals, for example? And I found his name, Harvey Ashmead, and he was from a little town in Utah. So I go up to Utah, meet with him. And sure enough, he said, sure, I'd love to be on your team. And then I looked up to who the world's leading authority on probiotics was at the University of Nebraska, Dr. Kim Shahani. So I went there, knocked on his door, gave him my spiel. Dr. Shahani, you're the best in the world. I'm forming a mastermind team. I don't think I can pay you, but I'd love to mentor into you. I'll do whatever you ask. If you just share with me your knowledge, I appreciate you taking the time. You can kick me out. I'll go back to Arizona. I'm just here to see if you would be one of my mentors. And he invited me in for dinner. So it was really, really cool. But that's the way this team came about, was is the mastermind group. So whether it was with Dr. Shahani, whether it was with Dr. Ashmead, Vic Rathi with enzymes, with some of the greatest strength coaches on the planet, from the Miami Heat, the Suns, the Spurs, all of them came together. And from that, we're able to create some great stuff, some great whole food nutrients. We have a lot of patents. We're able to prove some things to help the body perform better, to heal at a faster rate. And so over the years, over the decades, we've been able to do that. But one of the keys to that was to be able to look at the cellular level. And that's what opened up the doors to be able to do a lot of what we do today. And so an athlete came to me by the name of Danny Ainge, and he was really upset that his liver was stressed because of his lifestyle. They thought he drank alcohol and did drugs, but he didn't. He just took too many ibuprofen. And so we went in and helped him with that and did the blood work, showed him what the problem was, fixed it. And then all of a sudden I started working with other athletes, Charles Barkley and others. And then the Phoenix Suns owner called me in and said, hey, you're not going to help the athletes anymore on your own. You're going to be the nutritionist for the team. And I realized that we needed to really turn the page at that point. And this is why it's important for you, and hopefully a moment for you, is I realized that people that are busy, okay, I know we're talking about the athletes there now, but I'm talking about us, the real people, where you just go to work every day, or you're working in the home, take care of the family, whatever it is, you're busy. And so it's tough that if you knew what nutrients your body needed, you take 7, 8, 10 different bottles of product, you're not going to do that consistently. And so we realized that we needed to do something about it. So we converted this machine that was made for drugs into one for nutrition, and we're able to program it so that instead of all these bottles of product, you got these little packs with your name on it, and you're able to just take a pack a couple times a day instead of all of the bottles of product. And so it was really, really cool. It made it so that everyone can consistently take the nutrients they need once they find out what they need. And that's how we will be talking about how you find that out here in a second. And that's what led to a ton of referrals. And one of them was from the Phoenix Suns and the doctors there that weren't big believers in nutrition and supplements. But when we worked with an athlete, showed them the improvement based on the blood work, all of a sudden, the team, the doctors, the surgeons became a fan and wrote a letter to the owner and said, hey, we're a fan now. We love what Doug's doing, because he's not just giving us his opinion. He's doing it based off objective findings from the blood work. And that's what I'm going to share with you. So whether you use our program or something else, just don't believe people that you need to take these nutrients. You need some way to find out. Your doctor might do different forms of testing. They don't have to do blood work, but I'm a big fan of this. To do the test, say, oh, I'm deficient in this. I'm going to take this. Well, will this form of this vitamin D or B12 or whatever, or these nutrients to help my liver, will they work? Let's find out. So then you do your blood work again 6 months later, and you're able to see that. So objectively, you'll be able to see what works and what doesn't work. And what that led to is a ton of referrals from teams and players and athletes, and eventually to where we started training doctors on this. And the main thing we do nowadays is train doctors around the nation how to be more holistic, because the doctors, especially the ones that we work with, are already the best in the world at what they do. Whether it be chiropractic, whether it be surgery, whatever it be, they're the best. But many times they need help with the other areas because they spend so much time on that specialty. They need help with the nutrition side, the exercise side, the supplement side. And so we provide that for them, and they're able to be holistic. And then our family works to apply these principles also. Most of my family are competitive in natural, drug-tested bodybuilding or some form of fitness. Wife is 3 times Miss Olympia, a figure masters champ. So why is that important? Like, why are you telling us about these doctors and why your family? It's not to impress you, but it's to impress upon you that I know that people need confidence. There are so many scams out there in the marketplace today. Should I take vitamins? Should I exercise? Should I eat healthy? Should I eat this food? Should I eat this food? You don't know. And I get it. I really, really get it, because I hear it every single day. We just taught at a big seminar in Nashville a few weeks ago, and there's people like, man, I've been sitting here not doing anything because of all this controversy. I got it now. I can go forward. And so that's what I want to do, is impress upon you the need to have the confidence in moving forward to improve your health. So this guy, ordered these Yeezys, thought he was getting these nice Yeezys, and this is what he got in the mail, right? So sometimes we think we're getting something and we get something else. You need to have that ability to know. That's why I've talked about the doctors that we work with. That's why I talked about my family. Basically, I love the concept that if you do what I say, will I get what you have? In other words, We want to try to lead the way with optimal health. We want to try to be those examples. And a lot of what we personally do, the doctors that you work with, that you're on this webinar that referred you to it, our family, our staff, is we do blood work. We find out what we need. We find out objectively. We take the nutrients based on the blood work, and then we get on with life. So we don't have to spend all day with that focus and spend hours and hours worrying about that. We just get it done and take what we need and go from there. Most people take vitamins, but they don't know if they're taking the right ones. So that's aha flash moment number one. Think about it. 255 million adults in the US in 2019, 237 million of them take vitamins or say they would. So that's 9 out of 10 people take vitamins or have taken vitamins before. They innately know that statistic I showed you of 678,000 people dying every year due to a nutrient deficiency that caused a disease, that we innately know that. We know that the nutrients aren't in our food. It takes 27,000 calories a day to get 100% of the RDA, and no one should eat that much, right? We eat about 2,000 a day. If you ate 27,000 a day, you'd be gaining 5-6 pounds of fat a day. But we know the food doesn't have the nutrients that it once had, and the nutrients they try to put back are synthetic. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But the aha moment is this: most people take vitamins or have taken vitamins, okay? But very few know how much they should take of what type of vitamin. You with me? So do they work? I think innately we know we need them, right? Because 9 out of 10 people take them. But the research shows, and is very conclusive from the blood work that we've done, but also just from the medical journals, that nutrients help tremendously, that they are able to help with everything from neural defects to osteoporosis to heart disease, cancer, to be able to help prevention of all these things, cognitive performance, right, our mindset, our focus, to help ward off dementia, any of the Alzheimer's, all those things. The research is there. We know nutrients help. We know we're nutrient deficient. It's not a question, okay? And that's why 9 out of 10 people take supplements. But the problem is most people don't know what to take and how much. So the research ensures nutritional adequacy. It prevents chronic disease. I'm just showing you some of the studies. Cancer risk reduction, lowered risk of heart disease, #1 killer today. Helps with eyesight, macular degeneration, improves brain function, cognitive ability, and longevity improvement. In other words, we know we can live longer and a greater quality of life for those years by taking in nutrients. Why did I go through all that with you? Because I want to impress upon you that it's absolutely critical that you take in nutrients. I don't care if it comes from us or someone else, make sure they're whole food based, but you need nutrients on a daily basis. So the aha moment is not that you need vitamins necessarily, but you need to know what type and how much. And most people don't. 9 out of 10 people take vitamins, but yet very few know if it's what they should be taking and how much. Okay. So we know that in the studies across America that most people take vitamins for overall wellness, that fill nutrient gaps, energy. Those are the main reasons that they take them. But the key is you need to take them in the right form. You need to take nutrients as they come from nature. Your vitamin C should come from acerola cherry, from oranges, from citrus. Your vitamin A should come from, sweet potatoes, from carrots, things like that, not synthetically made. And all of our nutrients are organically blended, fermented to guarantee the highest potency. And is that important? I'm going to hopefully blow a few of you away with this study right now. This study was done on vitamins, and they did it. And actually, the vitamins they were using were whole food, and it lowered the risk of cancer and overall mortality. In other words, they were able to live longer and lower the risk of major diseases by consuming these vitamins. Made sense. But then they did a second study within this study, right? This Lynxian study. They compared Centrum multivitamins, right? So they started using Centrum versus a placebo. And the people actually increased their risk of cancer and disease and early death. Now, come on now. Whole food vitamins reduce the risk. Synthetic vitamins actually caused a problem. You think that would be national headline news, right? No, because guess who owns Centrum, the #1 selling vitamin in the world? Pfizer, okay, pharmaceutical company. So yes, I'm going to go down a rabbit hole right now. This is some of the research that has come out recently to back up what I wrote about a long time ago. And so I want to go there. And so bear with me. Hopefully it'll be exciting to some of you. But this is serious stuff. And that's why I've chosen to go down this road. And I'd love to hear your opinion on this. And if you would, in the chat, when I'm done with this little rant here for a moment, I'd love to hear if you'd like to have a webinar on this subject by itself, because I could go really deep into this subject. I'm going to hit just the parameter of it right now. But I'm going to call it the Great Tobacco Scam. Okay, the Great Tobacco Scam. I'm not talking about smoking. All right. I'm going to talk about the tobacco scam that goes much deeper than that. And here's the deal, is the tobacco companies were the very best at marketing, right? The 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and they phenomenal. And they spent billions of dollars. And back then that number meant a lot more than it does nowadays to find out the psyche of people and how to market to them and what to do. And they created all these things, Joe Camel and all these different things to be able to market to people to make it cool. But they knew, based on the research, that smoking kills you, it kills you soon, and it would finally come up to catch them. And it did. And smoking has declined because people know it's extremely bad for you. So what happened is these tobacco conglomerates, first of all, they started using colors, flavors, and marketing techniques to enhance children as future smokers. They use those things. They transferred that marketing strategy to sweetened beverages and went and bought a lot of the juice companies that we know of today. And there was a study done out of UC San Francisco that showed that the tobacco companies bought a lot of these companies that we know of today and started using the same marketing techniques on children that they use with the cigarettes to get them to drink these drinks. They bought Hawaiian Punch, they bought Kool-Aid. So, right, Philip Morris, a big tobacco company, owns these sugary drink companies that are targeting kids in their strategies to, oh, I want these juices, I want the Hawaiian Punch, I want these little juice squeezers and all those types of things. And they're using those techniques, and they understand addiction because of nicotine. They understand it deeply. So they use food coloring dyes and types of sugar, sucralose, aspartame, these things that are extremely addictive in these drinks to get kids hooked on them. But it is a tobacco marketing technique, but just switched over now to, first of all, the juices, the sweetened beverages. And this study brought it out, showed the exact timeline that they went through, starting in 1963, that they started moving over. So the Joe Camel and all these cool things that they used in the tobacco world to be able to promote tobacco, they just switched them over. So now you have the Kool-Aid guy, right? Like ding, 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 right? And so now you're like, wait a second. All these mascots they used before, Joe Camel and all the cartoon characters and that for cigarettes, all they did switch them over to Hawaiian Punch, to Kool-Aid, to all of these things. And they did it because they purchased these companies way back in 1963. And that's why growing up, you saw all these TV commercials on these beverages. And even to this day, on these highly addictive, high sugar, highly artificial flavoring and colored drinks. And that's a tobacco company strategy. And so they introduced the nation's first juice box. It's a little handy little cartons with the straw. That came from the companies, Philip Morris and the tobacco companies that acquired Kool-Aid via General Foods and those types of things. So are y'all kind of seeing what's going on here now? It makes sense. You're like, oh my gosh. But then in 1995, the tobacco company Philip Morris bought General Foods, and 3 years later, they bought Kraft. Think about this for a second. They bought the juice companies. That's how come you get all the cool little mascots that actually they just kind of transferred from the tobacco world. Now they purchased General Foods and Kraft. So you get all of these companies. So what does that mean? That means everything from all of the major cereal brands, your Trix, your the Monster cereals, the Fruit Loops, Cheerios, all of these cereal brands. You've got all the synthetic macaroni and cheeses, the Kraft, all of those foods. We go on and on and on through all of these things that are companies owned by General Mills and Kraft today are truly owned by tobacco company, right? Philip Morris saw the writing on the wall. They switched, moved their marketing strategy over to this world. So again, in the chat, if that's news and aha moment to you, please put it in there. Let us know. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that, if that's new information to you. For a lot of people, that's life-changing. But I want you to take a step further, and then we'll come back to Nutrients RX, the blood work. Synthetic vitamins are nothing more than a scam from the same world, whether it be the tobacco industry or pharmaceutical. I put them both in the same place because the pharmaceutical companies you're going to see did the same thing the tobacco companies did. But synthetic vitamins are nothing more than a scam to get you to think you're doing something healthy, and because you're taking a vitamin, right? And now this isn't a popular view, and a lot of the research studies like to be hidden quite a bit on this subject, but we have them and we share them with you, I think, often. And I would love to see if you want to go down this road with us, to go in like just a full hour on this subject, and let me know if you do. I'd love to go into that with you guys and do a deep dive, because there's some really crazy stuff deeper than what I just shared with you that's happening. But what happened is, on the pharmaceutical side, is they realized that people are going to take vitamins. So they went and started buying up vitamin companies, just like the tobacco companies started buying up food companies, right? Juice companies. Well, the pharmaceutical companies have gone and bought vitamin companies. And I personally know this because I've seen it now for 3 decades. Friends I've had in other companies that we just got along, and we went to different markets, but we shared information and research. Now it's dog eat dog. You show up at these conventions and people are smoking and drinking instead of being all this holistic people, because the pharmaceutical companies bought these vitamin companies and they started making synthetic vitamins because they don't know how to do whole foods. So they started making these vitamins in the lab synthetically, and went through the legislation and paid the lobbyists to be able to have the government say ascorbic acid is vitamin C. Ascorbic acid isn't vitamin C. It's a fraction of vitamin C, and they make it synthetically. Vitamin C has root and bioflavonoids, those things in it, not just ascorbic acid. But yet I get yelled at all the time on social media and stuff. People say, oh, ascorbic acid is vitamin C. What are you talking about? And I have to break out all this research and everything. But bottom line is that there's this hidden curriculum. And the bottom line is the people are saying, pharmaceutical companies and even the tobacco companies are saying, wait, look, people are going to innately want to take vitamins. So let's go ahead and give them these synthetic vitamins, but not tell them the difference between synthetic and whole food. Anytime anyone says you should take only vitamins as they come from nature, from foods, we'll pounce on them and say, no, there's no difference. You're just trying to market this and tell people to eat healthy and nutritionally. You want to sell your stuff. Well, you can't patent that stuff. So why would we do that? You could go buy whole food vitamins from anyone once you understand the principle. They're full of it. The bottom line is it's this huge marketing ploy of pharmaceutical companies and the tobacco companies to get you to eat junk food, highly processed foods, addictive foods, take synthetic vitamins in your body that causes disease, early death, and control. That they can control you, because now they can control and keep you full of synthetics. They can keep you full of pharmaceuticals and drugs and really control the narrative. So that might sound like a conspiracy theory. It's not. This is just straight up based off the research. That's why I'm sharing with you the dates and everything that's happened. And you can see the marketing ploys and what they did and have been doing. Okay. So again, appreciate some of the comments already coming across. I'm glad to know that this is benefiting you. And if you'd like to learn more, please let me know, because I'd love to go even deeper on that. I think you'd be blown away with some of that research. So let's go back, for example, to Centrum, right? #1 sold vitamin in the world. Who's it owned by? Pfizer. Don't believe me? Look at the label. Look on the back of the label. Pfizer makes it. Pharmaceutical company bought the vitamin company. Okay. And that's true across the board with almost all companies. Please know that Optimal Health Systems owned by my family. That's it. That's how it'll always be, because we don't band in that game. And they have tried to buy all of the vitamin companies out, and they've been very successful. In 1993, my first book called Complete Physique that I wrote. And then in 1999, I wrote a book called Optimal Fitness, where I'm trying to talk our staff into rewriting that, hopefully come out real soon. But I wrote about food corruption and synthetic vitamins back then. And it just keeps getting proven more and more and more. But as the research comes out, a lot of it gets hidden quickly. It's amazing what's happening now, especially the last 3 or 4 years, how crazy it is that a lot of this stuff gets to be pushed by the side or hidden. And it's getting a lot worse, and it's getting really bad. And so I want you to understand that this is a very serious deal. My first day in course at nutrition class at ASU, I got kicked out because the first words out of the instructor is a calorie is a calorie is a calorie, meaning it doesn't matter where you get your calories from. As long as you're taking less calories your body burns, you're going to lose weight. And that's all that matters. Well, that was a principle. And again, if you want me to have another seminar on this, webinar, I'll do it. I'll give you the exact research on this, that this was an actual statement made by the tobacco companies, and they lobbied and paid enough money to get this into the American Dietetic and Nutrition Association as a rule, that a calorie is a calorie. It's a bunch of BS. A calorie is not a calorie. I can give you 10 calories from a Big Mac and 10 calories from a whole food, and you're going to get fatter from that Big Mac. You're going to become more addicted to processed foods from that Big Mac. You're going to destroy your family flora from that Big Mac. And so we know a calorie is not a calorie, is a calorie, that they are different. They metabolize differently in the body. And the effects in the body as far as toxicity and that is tremendously different. So I got kicked out because they said, that's not true. That's not true. My mentors have shown me that's not true. I've seen the research, and got in trouble for it, but made amends and made it through it. But the truth is that tells you how bad the situation is. And I'd love to go through that, how it's gotten to the schools and stuff with you if you're interested. But here's just a study to move on to get back to our subject. So I'm coming out of the rabbit hole, gang. That Journal of American Medical Association showed that ultra processed foods is what went from, taking from like a, was it 30% up to now 70% of the consumption of foods of our use from 2019 is ultra processed foods. The ultra processed foods are killing us. The ultra processed foods is what's causing a lot of these hormone disruptions, the brain fog, not being able to develop the frontal cortex in our youth until much later. It's supposed to be fully developed by 21, 23, and sometimes now it's not until their 40s. Because of the ultra processed foods. You've got to get off ultra processed foods. And here's just a list of some of the research studies to show that a calorie is not a calorie. In other words, the type of calories means everything. That heavily processed foods causes overeating, they cause weight gain, that they're a major problem today. So if you get nothing else from this webinar today, get off processed foods, eat foods as they come from nature. What is it? What do we do? Really simple. Potato, not potato chips. Okay, right? You have berries, you have these natural foods as it comes from the ground or from the trees, the oranges, those types of things, any vegetables. There is no red licorice plant. Just simple things as you look at food. Get off ultra processed food. So the corporate capture of nutrition is interesting, is that the American Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics has been inundated with so much money and so much corruption that now even the nutrition recommendations from the government is messed up really bad. I don't know if you've seen the latest thing, but they put Twix and eggs at the same level. In other words, these highly processed sugar cereals was at the same health benefit in the latest research or study that was shown graph from the government. Are you kidding me? And it's nuts that they expect people to believe that, because some people will. And it's because they are giving recommendations based on where the money comes from. And I've actually traced that money back exactly and could show that. And anyways, so it's absolutely nuts what is going on today. And because of my industry, it hurt my heart. Is a nutritionist, you can't even believe the government nutrition recommendations at all. In fact, most of them are completely backwards. Usually do the opposite of what they recommend, and you'll be better off. So who do you believe? I'm sitting here saying, don't believe the government's recommendations, because they're influenced by the tobacco companies that own General Foods and Kraft and all that, or the pharmaceutical companies that own the synthetic vitamin companies. When they say any vitamin will work, we got it that you need them, but any type will work. Who do you believe? Well, my recommendation is that you find someone who wouldn't mind if you ask them, if I do what you say, will I get what you got? I mean, let's really look at it. And I go to these conventions now, these other companies and even vitamin companies and food companies and that. I look at the people, the owners and the executives and that, and I'm like, good heavens, if you're taking your product and that's what you got, I don't want that. And, no, thank you, because it's just a business for them. It's not the life. It's not, they're in it for the passion of what it does. And so you want to make sure you find someone, and being passionate, committed, and a little obsessed with whoever that is, it doesn't hurt also. It doesn't hurt a bit, but really what you need is someone that's willing to let the data speak for itself. In other words, and that's where we're going to get to the blood work right now, is you want to be able to not have to believe anyone. And so you want to have someone that says, don't believe me. And I'm telling you, don't believe me. Let your blood work and your data show you what you should take, and then eat healthier, take your nutrients, see if it improves. If not, eat worse, don't take your nutrients, and watch what happens to your blood work. Let the data prove it, and then become educated. And that's one thing that I'm going to share with you is we're going to help you tremendously start to learn just some of the basics of blood work. You don't have to go to school and get all crazy with it, but after a few hours of education and our seminars and our webinars that we're putting on now as we launch this, you'll be able to look at blood work and say, oh, I can tell this is my risk of heart disease, diabetes, this is my risk of arthritis. Here's how I'm digesting carbs, proteins, and fats. Here's how my liver's doing, my kidneys doing. Here's my nutrient levels. You'll be able to tell all that with less than a couple hours of training of teaching you how to look at blood work. And so super excited if you would like to learn that, to be able to share that with you as you do Nutrients RX. It'll be a part of the program that we do that we'll actually have some of these webinars to teach you that. So if you knew what nutrients you needed based on your body's chemistry, it would improve your life. Agree? Hopefully so. And those of you saying thanks for sharing that information, I'm just looking at the chat right now. Thank you for that. So the key is to make sure that you obey the laws of nature with whole foods. And we know that certain levels in the body, we can find out vitamin B, vitamin D, magnesium. We see how the liver's doing. We know that certain herbs will repair the liver. We know that there's enzymes that will help with inflammation that we'll see in the blood. We understand electrolyte balance and the nutrients. We understand circulation, the red blood cell count, the thing that's killing most of Americans right now, this high hematocrit or red blood cell count that's being caused from, testosterone therapies and COVID and the jab and everything else. We can monitor these things in the blood, and we know that there's certain nutrition and nutrients that help with those. And so what Nutrients RX is, what I'm going to recommend you do, whether it be our Nutrients RX program that's all inclusive or someone else's blood work, get blood work done. Okay. It's just, this is a simple way to go about it. Is you get blood work and you see, look, here's how I digest my fats. Here's my risk of heart disease. You look at my ratio, my triglycerides. Here's my risk of diabetes. It's called hemoglobin A1C, your blood sugar over 90 days, not just that day you took it. And you learn these things. How's your kidneys doing, your filtration rate? We want to make sure that they're, at a certain filtration, they're doing their job. And so the answer to AHA principle number one, that people take vitamins, they just don't know what type, is to do the testing that tells you what you need. So hopefully it's like, okay, man, I didn't realize so many people took vitamins, but it's so crazy. They don't even know what they're taking is what they need. Answer, do testing to determine your need. That testing, we call it Nutrients RX, is a blood test to be able to find that out. Okay. And so Nutrients RX, the word we came up with, that is a program that you do your blood work and then it determines what you need. And then we help you with those needs. Okay. So AHA flash moment 2, we'll hurry up here, make progress measurable and trackable. And that's really key. So it's one thing to know what nutrients you need or what your risk of disease is, what's your risk of heart disease and those things. But it's another to make sure you get that information in a measurable and trackable way. Peter Drucker said you can't manage what you can't measure. So you want to have something, and listen, please listen, this is for all of you that are watching this, whether you're a patient, a client of ours, or in the public just watching, you're an athlete. You need to have a tool that you own, that's yours, okay, that measures this data of your risk of disease, your nutrient levels in the body that you can have forever and be able to go to, and then you once every 6 months or so, redo that work, that blood work or those tests and see where you're at. If you just do that, you'll be able to catch major diseases before they happen. You'll be able to see why your energy levels might be down. You'll be able to see what you need to do to improve your health, to reduce body fat. It's why all the referrals that came our way from the NBA and the NFL and Major League Baseball and the athletes and the movie stars and all those people have come to us over the years, is because they didn't have to believe me. They didn't have to believe me. So it didn't matter what was going on in my life or anything else. Most of them didn't care. What they cared about was that the information they got was based on data, and they saw it. And then if I asked them to do something, they would see that it worked or not, if they took certain nutrients or ate a certain way. So blood tests really help you do that. They're the universal standard. Every health professional in the world understands blood work, and you can see the results. This is an actual patient from September to December. Their cholesterol, which is a leading factor for heart disease, went from 238 to 149. Their good cholesterol went up, which is really important. That helps with the risk of disease. Their triglycerides, their LDL levels. A lot of people believe in LDL now more. which is great. It went down dramatically. So their risk of the number one killer today went from high risk to no risk. So they knew that the nutrition they followed, the supplements they took worked. They don't have to believe me, okay? And their diabetes risk went from really high to low, from 10 to 5. It got cut in half. That's what the Nutrients RX does. It gives you a report that's easy to read, because most blood work's very, very hard to read, okay? And this is an example, again, of the blood work and that use the specific nutrients and the improvement from it. So when results are measurable, they're trackable, they're great, they actually get good results, right? Then referrals happen, and that's when, you know, your friends and everyone will want to hear about it. And that's why we work with a lot of the people that we work with today. Isn't because we market it or anything else or pay people to say anything. We've never paid anyone to say anything about us, the teams, MBA, anyone. It's because they got results, and they're like, sure, you can share those results with people. We love the program. So the answer to the second aha moment, that again, that you need to do something that you test for the nutrient deficiencies, is that you should have blood work done every 6 months the rest of your life. So if you committed to nothing else, I'd recommend that. Get blood work done every 6 months, twice a year, the rest of your life. You'll be able to find diseases I mentioned before it ever comes up. It gets serious as it just gets started, and you'll be able to fix it before it goes nuts. You'll be able to understand longevity factors. You'll understand nutrient factors in the body, why you have certain energy levels you have, you know, when they come down, they come up. As you start getting a little older, why testosterone starts dropping in men, you can do something about it to get it back up again. With women, why hormones are changing, and estrogen, and you're able to make those changes. With guys, they'll come in and say, I'm starting to lose my testosterone. And so a lot of times they'll go on drugs, prescription drugs, to actually increase it, when really it's causing more harm than good. That's a lot of reason why people are dying so much right now, is they're going on testosterone therapy, and it's increasing the red blood cell count so much their body can't handle these stresses from the outside, the viruses and things going on. And so the drugs are not the answer. The answer is that you have some lifestyle factors that now you hit a certain age, your testosterone's dropping, or in women, the estrogen testosterone ratio is off. And if you clean up your eating, get off processed foods, take in the right nutrients you're deficient in, your vitamin D, your zinc, certain herbs that help, you can get those levels up again. So people, even at my old man age, you know, that we're able to maintain 700-800 levels of testosterone naturally because of the lifestyle changes and the nutrients balanced, and not have to take the testosterone and those types of things. So flash moment 3, you also must make sure that what you're doing is easy to do, so that the other things that might be harder, you can have the time to do them, right? It might be hard to get off of sodas or the processed foods and that, but you can focus on them more if all you have to worry about is do my blood work, take the nutrients based on my blood work, all my supplements are covered, I'm good. Now I can focus on these other things, right? That might be a little bit tougher, and you actually have more motivation to do it because your nutrient levels are up and your serotonin, dopamine, and you get that benefit from those chemicals, giving you that boost to be able to get over the edge, to stick with healthier eating. And so it must be easy to do. So remember, most people take vitamins, but they don't know what. So what do? Is you do testing to find out what you need, and then you must have a system to make it easy for you. Okay, you learn how to read blood work and take all these vitamins and stuff. It needs to be super, super simple so that you can do it for the rest of your life. That's why we have the custom pack program. We can take 7 or 8 bottles of product, make it in one little pack for you. So you just take that pack morning and night, boom, you're set. You don't have to keep taking all those bottles with you everywhere. And we are the ones that actually invented this and created the ability to do vitamins in little packs way, way back in the early 90s. And so it's something that we specialize in because we understood we got to make it simple for people to do forever. Okay. So a customized pack comes every month to you. Once you get the blood work done, that's what Nutrients RX is. Nutrients RX is get your blood done, and you get a custom pack every month. And then 6 months, you redo your blood work. The custom pack changes based on your new blood work, and you're able to see it. Okay. So that's the answer to it, is Nutrients RX makes it easy and simple by having like the custom pack. So the solution to the whole thing is you need data so that you can track your health, know your risk, know your deficiencies. You take nutrients in a simple way to be able to fix that, and then you go on with life. Okay. And that's the program of what Nutrients RX is to be able to help you understand the need, to be able to track it, to measure it, and then simply fix the problem by taking the nutrients in an easy way. Okay. So I'm going to give you the pitch real quick. And here's the reason I'm giving you a pitch right now. And I want to make sure you know that when I'm just giving researcher information versus saying, hey, here's a program. This program, I've invested the majority of everything I've ever made into this program to make it available to the public. And so I'm really, really excited for it. And so the reason for this is, one, I think we have the ultimate program to help you. And it helps with all those factors we talked about. And number two, if it isn't the right program for you, then at least you'll know what you need to do. You need to go out and get blood work done consistently and be on the right nutrients to prove that those things work and your nutrition improvements work. Okay, you need to do that for the rest of your life. If you do that, it will be a life-changing moment for you that will help you stay away from a lot of disease, heartache, and problems, and be able to help with more happiness, health, and vitality in your life. So whether it's this program, Nutrients RX, or just go do it on your own, please, from this webinar, understand you need to do something. Okay, so here's my pitch, is why I think this program is the best and that everyone should do it. It's the most powerful tool I believe ever created. If you go online right now and order the blood work and the lab work you need to really know everything, your risk of all the major diseases, your nutrient levels, your hormones, testosterone, all those things, if you go on and type into like Quest online, it's going to cost over $800 to do that on your own. And if you go to a doctor, it's usually right around $1,200 for that blood work, just for the lab work you need. Okay, so that's what it would cost you every 6 months, is around $800 to $1,200. So call it $1,000 twice a year. That's $2,000. Okay. Our program, we network, have been doing this for so long that we're able to get the pricing down tremendously on the program. And you don't get this lab report that's hard to read. Okay. Nutrients RX is where you get the blood work done. We can prescribe it for you. Your doctor can prescribe it for you through our system, and then be able to recommend the nutrients based on, and your report looks like this. It's actually very easy to read. So on the top, it says left side cholesterol. Okay, at the very beginning in May of 2021, this patient's cholesterol as a female was 184. Next time she did it was 180. Next time was 157. Improvement. What she was doing was working. She knew her diet and the nutrients she was taking was working, right? And then she could go down and you could look at the other things in the body. The testosterone levels, how they started coming up. Look at triglycerides, LDL cholesterol was 106, went to 98, went to 81. Improvement consistently over time, and we're able to see that. So look at vitamin D levels from 28 to 130 to 144. Straight improvement of those levels, okay? So we can track the importance of the nutrients you take and the food you're taking in and how well they're doing very simply with Nutrients RX. Right. So health happens when you take the right nutrients and the right dosage. And this, again, I shared this earlier of someone's blood, and they went from a very high cholesterol level down to a lower cholesterol level in just in a short amount of time. And so here's some testimonials real quick of people that have done this program that feel like it saved their life. This one gentleman, excuse me, it was actually a cowboy that came in, and I think we still got the spurs on our carpet from coming in with spurs. So that tells you where we live. But anyways, he basically was able to reduce his risk of heart disease. His doctor told him he was going to die soon if he didn't do something. Did his blood work. It was very hard to convince, but we said, look, here's your blood work. Will you do this? We'll redo your blood work. If it doesn't work, I'll pay you money back, but you're going to die if you don't do something. And he did. Improved his diet a little bit, took all his nutrients, cut in half his risk factors of heart disease. And so it became a believer. And you'll see this happen in your own life. This is Bill Ferran, strength coach, world champion, Miami Heat, Hall of Famer. And he says their athletes, I mean, his staff have their blood work analyzed by me in the program, the paks. This is back when we just did it individually and had to look at the blood work, and we weren't able to do it quickly and nationally like we're able to launch right now. And pilots, we could go on and on in the testimonials. So I just want you to know we've been doing this for a long, long time. And we've got it dialed in, the right nutrients to recommend in the right order based on your blood work. It's this very specific algorithm so that you know you're getting what you need. And they're whole foods that are delivered to the cell level, not synthetics, not coming from the pharmaceutical companies, about the vitamin companies that make synthetic vitamins, that they fool you that they're good for you, but really they actually take away from your health. These are whole foods themselves. The patents we have are patents proven things work, and that they work at the cell level and they obey the laws of nature. So what happens is you do the blood work and your doctor will prescribe it for you. You're able at the end of the seminar to go and click on it, and you'll just write, and your doctor's name will come up, and you'll click on it. Or the doctor will send you a thing called a direct script right to you. You can ask your doctor, and they'll send it to you. And you'll click on it, and you order it, and you'll get the blood work done, and then you'll get a custom pack made for you that comes with your name on it. You just take one in the morning, one at night, one pack in the morning, one at night, and whatever else your doctor recommends. So your first step is you go to nutrientsrx.com or ask your doctor. If you go to nutrientsrx.com, you'll see that the list there to click your doctor. And some of you, it is us, that's fine. Just click my name on there, or OHS. And if you have the doctor, click it. And that way that doctor will be able to get your information and go over it with you in detail. Super important. That's why you want to make sure you put your doctor that referred you in there. So they'll go over the information with you. And then you'll get an email, and you'll get this special, really cool account set up for you. And you'll download a paper, you'll put your zip code in, you'll download this paper. It's called a requisition form, and you'll go to your local lab. You'll go to your local lab with this form, you give it to them, they draw your blood, you're done. Okay, so all you do is you pay for it. You get set up on this cool little portal. You'll get the emails, and you'll click on them, and you'll go through it. And then you'll get, the second you order the program, you'll get these vitamins in that to hold you over until your custom pack's made. Your first month, you get these basic healthy vitamins that we've seen most people in the world need. That's going to help get your baseline of fatty acids and probiotics and vitamins and minerals up. And then after you get your blood work back and designed, the very next month, you'll get the one that's customized with your name on it come to you. And you'll do that. You'll get it every month. And in 6 months, we'll send you another email to do your blood work again. And what's cool is you get this portal. So the portal means that you get your own little portal that your blood work goes into. So it can be real HIPAA compliant, and it's yours, and you'll be able to view it. And we put it in a form that you'll understand it. And we're going to teach you how to look at it. Your doctor can go through it with you, and you'll download this little, the form that you'll take to the lab. And then, as I mentioned, you'll get back your information. And so your portal that you get, you put it on your phone, you'll get it, and it'll say, view your results, and your results will come over, and you'll see them on the screen and be able to see what's going on with it. You'll get the recommendations from it. You'll be able to learn from your doctor or from our webinars, and be able to do that. So each person has their own account because you get your own portal, and your doctor will be able to see your blood work and go over it with you. And and you get to see it yourself and be able to go through it. So super simple program. You just go to nutrientsrx.com or ask your doctor to send you a script, and they'll send it to you. You pay for the program. It's $590. That includes all the blood work and the custom pack the first month and your enzymes. And you'll download the PSC hold, what we call the requisition form, to take to the lab. You put your zip code in, so it'll tell you all the labs around you. And then you basically take your supplements, and you get to see your blood work. You'll see your risk of disease and all that cool stuff. And in 6 months, you do it again. And then you go from there, and it'll be side by side that you'll be able to see that improvement, like all the slides I just showed you within your portal, and you can do it the rest of your life. So if I pulled up my blood right now, you'd see like 20 different blood works, right? Or even more than that. And it just shows this progression. So I'm seeing how I'm doing and how my lifestyle is sometimes good, sometimes not as good, and I'll be able to see that and make the changes. So at the end of the webinar, you'll be redirected to Nutrients RX, or just ask a doctor that referred you. Or if you go to Nutrients RX, make sure you click the doctor. You put your zip code in, you pay for the program, and then you're able to get that custom pack. Okay. So you can scan that QR code that'll take you there right now. The cost question's already coming, cost every 6 months. So basically it's $590. That includes all of the blood work, the lab, your own portal, everything. And it includes the first month of your vitamins, the custom pack, and your digestion enzymes and probiotics. That's the $590. Then every month after that, we send you the custom pack and the digestive enzymes and the probiotics. So the one has your name on it, right? All the nutrients in there. You take morning and night, and the digestive enzymes and probiotics, and you get them every month for $140. And then on the 6th month, we send you an email. It's time to get your blood work done. You get the blood work done again. And that blood work's like $450, right? So that's what makes it $590 for that month that you get the blood work done, $450 plus the $140. And then you go again, $140 each month. So the $140 takes care of all your nutrient needs from the micronutrient standpoint. If you choose to do other things like powders and, fruit powders and green powders or other supplements that your doctor puts you on for a short time, we call them therapeutic supplements. That's what your doctor will recommend to you, or you can do what you want. There'll be recommendations in the report that says, hey, If you're trying to build muscle, you might want to try this too, or you're not eating enough fruits and vegetables, you might want to try this powder. But basically, you're guaranteed that you're going to get all the basics from that. Okay. And so the one thing the doctor can do is once your blood work comes in, they can actually work with you on the pack and make sure it's exactly what you need. We make the recommendations based on your blood work, but your doctor might make a few changes to it. And they might look at other previous blood work that you didn't do it. So the doctor can decide and make the pack from that. Okay. So one of my favorite quotes, and we'll open up for questions and answers, is the healthier your presence, the more you can be present. The healthier your presence, the more you can be present. People, if you work on your presence, your health, your vitality, your energy, your body fat, your nutrient levels internally, then you can be more present in everyday life with your children, with your spouse, with your work and everything. It makes life so much better because you can be more present. You're not clouded over with the prescription drugs. You're not clouded over with the synthetics. You're not clouded over with the processed foods that holds you in this funk that a lot of people want you to be in. You want to be vibrant and healthy and be able to move and make decisions. And a lot of that is your internal health at the cell level. Internal health at the cell level. So commit to make your presence healthier by doing the right things. And you'll be able to take accountability and responsibility for your own life, which I believe is the way it's meant to be. And that those that want to control you for the purposes of money or whatever the reason is, we don't have to get into all the conspiracy theories or what some people think are conspiracy theories, just from a marketing standpoint, a business standpoint. If people can control you and your health, they make more money. Okay. So if we just leave it there, get away from that. Be able to obey the laws of nature, take in whole foods, unprocessed food, get the right nutrients your body needs based on data, not just taking a bunch of stuff. Make sure it's whole food, track your progress. Your health will improve so dramatically. It's a life-changing experience. Okay. So the tobacco companies, now Kraft, General Mills, that's the same thing, right? They bought them in the pharmaceutical companies. Most of the vitamin companies out there want to control the narrative and keep your mind foggy, your body soggy, and your health in their financial control. That's the facts. It's up to you to take responsibility, have that aha moment, okay? Have that aha moment and go on from there. Now, you don't have to do the blood work every 6 months. We send you an email, and if you want to do it, you do it. You can do it whenever you want. I just recommend you do it every 6 months for the rest of your life, but you stay on that, and you don't have to stay on the monthly subscription. There's no commitment. You can do it 1 month if you want. The point is you do what works, right? If this works for you, you keep doing it. And that's why people have done it for decades and still do it. You know, every month they take their nutrients, and every 6 months they do the blood work. Okay. The healthier your presence, the more you can be present. Now, I know I'm over a little bit, but I want to share with you that what we talked about today was very specific. It was specific supplementation. It's a part of your health program. You have to have a proper mindset. I hope I helped you with the mindset today by giving you the facts based on data, based on research showing when things were bought, that the tobacco companies and pharmaceutical companies are now in the world of health, and they're trying to write the narrative. And that mindset switch, I'm hoping you're making that paradigm shift. I'm going to take control myself over this. This is a bunch of crap. And I know that food as it comes from nature, getting away from processed foods is what I need to switch to, get off the carbonated drinks, start eating healthier, right? Have more salads, more vegetables, more berries, more raw nuts. That's what you should be eating mainly. And I'm going to make those changes. I'm going to do my blood work, find out the nutrients I need. That's the mindset. That's the focus, intense thought I'd like you to get from this. The nutrition, getting away from the processed foods. You need to exercise. That'll be a whole separate webinar. But if you need help with it, we have a training program, Optimal Health Trainer. Just call and ask us about it. We'll set up with a professional trainer with a program that we'll oversee and work with you on. We have lots of people around the nation doing that. And then finally, specific supplements. I always said specific supplementations last, but I actually have to retract a little bit of that, because we have found that a lot of people, that if the first thing they do is take care of their nutrient deficiencies, especially like vitamin D and B12, it gives them the mindset and the energy, the right serotonin, dopamine chemicals are now being released, that they're able to make those lifestyle changes with their nutrition and their exercise better, because nutrition is more important than supplementation. But a lot of times, in order to make those changes, you need the nutrients right in the body to get your chemicals right that are being controlled by the companies that we talked about. So that's fitness. And so we want you to understand it's holistic. It's about the whole body. And the more you crave something, I want you to crave from this today, please. And I'll open up for question and answers. Please crave optimal health. please crave health from the true holistic standpoint, not from drugs, not from chemicals, not from synthetics, not from processed foods. Crave it in your heart. And as you crave that, as it becomes a true desire, like I want to do it right, then your cells will vibrate that frequency into the reality and you'll be led to the program you need. If it's Nutrients RX, because it's simple to do and it's just an ongoing program, you don't have to worry about it and it comes to you and we'll train you on it, that's great. If it's something else, that's great too. But you have to have that craving so that your body will vibrate the frequency at the cell level so you'll be led to where you need to. I want you to seize the moment, get set up, Nutrients RX. I want you to be able to, take a bite today, get after it, and then stick with it. Stick with it. The word I always use, people, keep chewing. Just keep chewing, okay? And so when you click off the webinar, because I'm going to open up for questions right now, or the webinar ends, you'll be redirected to the Nutrients RX portal, or you can call the 1-800 number and be able to get help and get set up with that. If a doctor referred you to this webinar, just ask them. They'll send you a script over right now so you can do the Nutrients RX program. You really, really want to make sure that your health professional, that you put their name on there, or you buy the program from the script they send you by texting or email, because you want your doctor to have a copy of that blood work, and so that they could go over it with you and you can refer to them. You'll have your own portal no matter what, but you want your health professional to take care of that with you. Okay, so let's open up for questions and answers. And so one of the doctors are on here. I guess this doctor wasn't on the previous call. And so doctor, I'd recommend your question about how it works for you with the patients. Please call the 1-800-890-4547 number, the office here, and the reps, the growth specialists that are dedicated. We have staff members dedicated just to help health professionals and their goals in their clinic to be holistic. They'll go over the details with you of how you can help your patient, how it comes to your portal. You're able to, help the patient read it and do all of that, and all the benefits and that come with that. So please just call the 1-800 number. Thanks to Alan. Just put the information in. The director of that department just gave you the number to call on that. Okay. Let me look at some of these other questions again. Any other questions, put on them right now and we'll answer them for you. The 6-month additional cost. So this person says they understand the monthly cost of $140. And by the way, that $140, if you look at the 7 bottles of product that you'd buy separately normally, that's like over $200 something you'd buy to, like, let's say you did blood work and you looked at all the nutrients you needed and you went and bought like those 7-8 bottles of product that you took individually every day, that's like well over $200. And so you get them customized with your name on it in a little pack, easy to take, for $140, and that also includes another bottle of digestion enzymes to take. So it's a really great deal for you. But to answer that question, it's $140 a month for the custom pack and the enzymes, and then every 6 months you'll get an email for blood work, and the blood work is $450. Again, it's over $800 worth of blood work for $450. You're in the co-op with us, if you would, to be able to get that pricing. And the that month will be, you'll spend $590, because $450 for the blood work and then the $140 for the custom pack that month and the digestive enzymes. So it'll cost you $590 twice a year, and then $140 a month. So you're looking just under $2,000 a year to cover all of your blood work, you're knowing your risk of disease for the rest of your life, your nutrient level deficiencies, and the nutrients. So that's how you can look at as far as an investment. And I hope you can see that that's less than sometimes what the doctor visit would be if you had an ailment that you're fixing. One visit, and this takes care of you for the entire year. Okay. Let's see any of the questions. Oh, great. Got some good ones coming in. Are you able to make a pack from blood work that was done previously? So doctors, the blood work right now, the program is that the blood work has to come through Nutrients RX. If you have blood work, doctors, of a patient or patients of the public, you have blood work, go to your doctor. They can look at that blood work, and if they understand it, they can make you a custom pack. The doctor can build you a custom pack outside of Nutrients RX and build it for you and help you with it. So you can do it from other blood work. The doctor just has to make that custom pack for you, and they can do that. So to answer that, you can get blood work done somewhere else, go to your doctor, as long as the doctor affiliated with Optimal Health Systems, they can make a custom pack for you, build it, and have it sent to you. So you can do that. Okay. It's just you won't get the portal with the blood work laid out like this and all that stuff, but that's okay. But it can be done. Okay. The question again is on it's $140 for the 8 supplements. $140 is a custom pack. Where basically you have 7 to 8 bottles worth in the custom pack, right? So that's how many capsules are in there. And that custom pack, it's 60 counts, so it's 60 packets of 7 capsules. That custom pack 70 or 60 packets. And so you take one morning, one night. So that box lasts you a month. And you get a separate bottle of enzymes and probiotics in one. It's called digestion. It's enzymes and probiotics you take when you eat cooked and processed food. So you get that every month. That's the $140. And it's like 7 bottles worth of product in that custom pack, but you don't have to take 7 bottles. You just get the custom pack. So I'm sorry if I confused you on that. Great question. Any other questions? So yeah, the blood work does give you the risk of disease. And if your health professional can go over that with you. You also can listen to our webinars coming up. Make sure you're on our email list, and you probably are if you're on this webinar. If not, just go to optimalhealthsystems.com. You can click on there to get put on the email list. And we'll do webinars where we're going to teach you, like here's your risk of heart disease by looking at these parameters. You don't have to go in depth. Again, a couple hours of training on this, you'll know this for the rest of your life. Here's my risk of diabetes. Here's my risk of arthritis. Here's my kidney function, my liver function. You can know these things. So now for the rest of your life, you ever go get blood work done somewhere else, or even this blood work, you're able to look at it and look, I don't care what anyone says. I know that my liver's doing good, or my liver's under stress. I better do something about it. Or my risk of heart disease is high. I better do something about it. If you want to know the number one reason that people are dying left and right for apparently no reason, the blood work will show you. It's called hematocrit, the amount of red blood cells you have. So I want to look at that and make sure, and we'll do a deep dive into that too. For those of you that do Nutrients RX. So everyone that does Nutrients RX will have in our database everyone that's purchased it, either from your doctor or from the company. And we are going to send emails to that list. And that list of people that we send emails to, we're going to invite you to webinars where we share with you how to look at the blood work. Even if your doctor shares it with you, we're going to go through some other fun stuff. Your doctor is going to probably ask you to be on the webinar so that we can just share with you like how to read it, how to look at it, so that you can know your risk of disease. I mean, how many of you have ever gone to your doctor and they just say, yeah, blood's fine. You have blood work done there. You don't even get to see it. Now you need to see it. It needs to be laid out in a way that's understandable, and you get knowledgeable on it so that you can say, look, I know what my risk is. I know what's going on. It's like, doctor, you're telling me nothing's wrong, but I'm 1 point away from, being in a serious level. Why didn't you say something? Because they're like, well, unless you're at this serious level, we don't know what to tell you, right? Because they just want to put you on a drug once you hit a certain level of a certain number, in the blood work. So you can be 199 of something and they say everything's fine. And at 200, they want to put you on a statin, when in reality, you should have been told way before that, you're heading the wrong way. Get off the fried food, yahoo, right? And so you're able to see that in the blood. Okay. No one's a yahoo, but you understand what I'm saying. All right. Let's see. What's the other question? Okay. Awesome. Thank you for thanking me. And if there's no other questions, am I missing any? Becky, Josh? No. Dallin, everything good? All right, so let me just end with this real quick and help you hopefully to finish up. The world is going to a place where marketers through ChatGPT, through business, is understanding that the more that they can get you and control you, the more money they can make. And the tobacco companies led the way, the pharmaceutical companies alongside them. And it's gone now into everyday life. It's so much that it's infiltrating the government, it's infiltrating the research, it's infiltrating what you're told is right and what's wrong, telling you that tricks and all these cereals like that are just as healthy as good whole foods. Is a bunch of crap. And I think innately you know that. But you need to do more about it than just say that's a bunch of crap. You need to take accountability and responsibility for your own health, your own presence, so you can enjoy life and be more present. And the way to do that, in my opinion, based on the research of doing this for over 30 years, is understand a little bit about your blood work and have a simple system like this. So you don't have to spend a lot of time, but know where you're at so you can see where your body's heading. you can see that you're heading in the right way or the wrong way, and you can make adjustments. And you can do that with your own accountability by just associating with the right type of holistic doctors or people that will help guide you to help you with that information. I hope we can do that for you. Or if not, that you hook up with someone that will, that you care enough about your health to realize that it's time that you can't just float anymore. You have to take responsibility and take action. So please take action today on these principles. And we look forward to working with you. Take a bite, take a jump, and then keep chewing. Thank you so much. We love you guys. I'd love to hear again as you're leaving. If you please put in the chat if you'd like to hear more about some of this information that we talked about today, and we'll schedule some other webinars and have some fun with it. Thank you very much. Have a great day.